And we're back. MMA Lock Talk, episode 32 on this October 13th. It's been a bit rainy today up here in Toronto, or at least certain parts of Toronto. But your boy stays working. Let a couple people trickle in here before I start spewing off at the mouth. Appreciate everybody that always comes through for the shows, whether I'm right on time, whether I'm 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15-minute late. We still go out there and drop these Lockcast episode for you guys. Obviously, I had no episode yesterday due to going to Toronto. I went to that AEW show for anybody that was tuned in on Tuesday. You guys heard me talk about it a little bit. Fun time. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big pro wrestling fan nowadays, but it's always fun to go out to some of these shows and be a part of the atmosphere and the crowd and the experience and all that stuff. And I'll still appreciate the technical aspects of pro wrestling still, like whether it's the mic work or the choreography of the matches and all that stuff. It was cool. It was all right. It was fun. It's I'll always I'll always appreciate people putting on their talents on display like that. So fun time. Pretty much spent all day in Toronto yesterday. Got downtown on the train around 1:30. Met up with one of my boys and we just drank. We pretty much had a bunch to drink, bar hopped a little bit, and then finally found our way to the Coliseum and got to the show, watched the show, left the show, came home and pretty much passed out immediately. It was a long day. So it was exhausting, but it was fun. It was a fun exhaustion. So I was very happy to have that. Very happy to see my boy like I normally do as well. It's always a treat seeing my college roommates whenever I get the chance. Because in total, there was about 5 of us that really, or 6 of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of us plus their significant others who have stayed in touch, for 10 plus years now, and try to get together, every couple, maybe a couple times a year. There was a time where it was only like once a year, but we try to do it as often as we can just to, relive moments of the past, have some nostalgia, and even just have fun. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy being around them as well. So fun times. I'm going to get to see them again this weekend. We're doing a Halloween party at my friend's place, and very much looking forward to that. I know it's like 2 weeks early for Halloween, but it's only time that we're going to be able to meet up in the next couple weeks. So we thought we would just make it a little bit of a themed party, get a costume, and just have fun. So looking forward to that. And then I have a baby shower to go to literally the next day. So I'm going to crash there, probably shit faced, come back hungover, go to a baby shower, and then chill out for the day as well. Shout out to my guy Rex, as always, going to be looking after my guy Alfred while we're gone. I know Rex's kids always enjoy looking after our weenie dog, so it's always a treat to be able to put a smile on their face as well by dropping him over there. So we got Grasso versus Araujo this weekend. We got UFC 280 next weekend. By the way, I just finished I love it. Alfred hears a dog barking outside and starts barking himself. Hey, Alfred, quiet it. Kills me every time. Yeah, I finished taping Lucas Alexander versus Joanderson Brito earlier, maybe like an hour ago. Still got to update the best bets and props article on the Patreon, but I'll likely have no play on that fight, right? Nowadays it's gonna be hard for me to want to shell out -600 on anybody, even if it's Joe Anderson Brito fighting a short notice guy that stylistically he should go out there and beat on. I just have this sick feeling in my stomach of playing heavy chalk on anybody that's not an elite championship fighter. And even then, I mean, Kamaru Usman, I played him at -400 and still ended up ripping on my ticket. But I need that level of comfort, that level of talent and skill for me to be comfortable with paying minus 600. So Brito should win, but I'll likely be staying off that fight all in all. Lastly, propping you up coming up in about 2 hours time. Me and Cody will be going live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the All-Star. Make sure you guys go hop in on that. After this podcast wraps up, I'm actually going to go and create the link for that one, and I'll tweet it out so that you guys can, set your notifications, do whatever you got to do. But me and Cody will be back in 2 hours. The newly minted father, Cody Saftik. I think he just had his first kid less than 2 weeks ago. So we'll ask him how his first 2 weeks of fatherhood have treated him. But since then, but yeah, I haven't spoken to him since then, so I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, let's see what the live chat is saying. Right, what this whole show is all about. My guy Bob Spikerman in the chat. What's going on, my brother? He's asking your thoughts on Petrosian and Cal Barallo parlay for next week. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate the love as well, my friend. Now I just got to remind myself who Petrosian and Bahayo are fighting next weekend, because I can't remember off the top of my head. So Bahayo is fighting Mahmoud Murdov. Hilarious seeing Mahmoud Murdov as a plus 190 dog. I'll say that, considering this guy who usually was chalk city before Gerald Mearshart ended up choking him out. On paper, I think that fight's a lot closer than the odds suggest, but that could also be because I'm not the highest on Bahayo myself. I think everybody's going to be writing off Mahmoud Murdov because of that Gerald Mearshart fight, but we should cut him a little bit of slack. Like, we shouldn't be fading him with a minus 220, minus 230 spot here. I believe that, yeah, he only lost to Gerald Mearshart. Like, that was his first loss in 5 years. That was his first loss in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He was on a 14 fight winning streak before running into Gerald Mearshart the way that he did. So, yeah, I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. I may even look at him as a possible underdog spot myself. But yeah, sketched out about that one. And then you were asking about Petrosian. Armin Petrosian's fighting AJ Dobson. Wow, he's minus 210. Holy shit. I gotta dust up on AJ Dobson, and I'm actually going to be starting my UFC 280 tape starting later this evening. So if you're on the Patreon, you will be able to see some of the best bets and props that I dropped for that card. But yeah, I don't remember. Like, I remember AJ fought Malkoun last time, and he couldn't stop the takedowns in the second and third rounds. And I definitely think he's the better striker than AJ Dobson. But what if Dobson looks for a wrestle-heavy approach? And again, I don't know if Dobson has those chops. Like, I'll have to go back and watch his regional tape and see, had he ever taken fights to the ground, and if so, how good his control actually is. Because, yes, you can take Armin Petrosian down, as we've seen, but he does a very good job in terms of nullifying the damage his opponents do from on top, and he does a good job of working back to his feet and then getting off of it on his shots once again. So, yes, I do lean Petrosian. I'm a fan of him. Obviously, cashed him as a dog against Gregory Rodriguez as well. But we got to temper our expectations a bit, especially with him all the way up at minus 210. So I know it probably might not be what you want to hear, my guy Aaron. In terms of like straight up predictions, yes, I'll pick Petrosian, and I'll still maybe play Murdov. But yeah. That's what I'm thinking right now. I just got to see. Sorry, not Aaron. I meant Bob, who asked the question. I really got to dust up on Dobson before I can make or plant my flag in the ground for that. And even the Bahayo and Murdoch fight, I got to really do my studying there before I plant my flag on one side or the other. Aaron asking, "What's up, dude? Nice to have a UFC fight night, but really looking forward to the 280 fight card." Everybody is, my friend. Everybody is. And luckily for you guys, my diehard listeners of the MMA Lock Talk, I'll likely be doing a live fight companion for the entire UFC 280 card. And I'm sure you guys have heard me say this plenty of times, but I'm going to keep saying it until it actually happens. It's my birthday that day too, literally the same day as my birthday. So I'm going to, get tucked in nice and early on Friday, or sorry, actually, Friday night I'll be having a birthday dinner. Gonna hit up another Brazilian steakhouse. Get into bed pretty much right after that, and then wake up nice and early and start getting crunk at like 9 a.m. since the fights start off at 10 a.m. So I'll do a fight day live chat probably at 8:30 or something like that for a half an hour, and then get prepared to sit here in this seat for close to 6 hours with you guys as well. So hopefully you guys can swing through for the watch stream birthday party that I'll be throwing for myself. And we can watch the fights together. Marcus Williams, shout out as always to the Nubian bookstore. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Till versus Duplessis projected opening betting lines? Till minus 111, Plessis 109 on best fight odds. I love Plessis winning this fight easily. I wouldn't say easily, but I do think he wins that fight. You know, if the odds roughly stay around that, I will likely have a play on Duplessis there. I know you use some Duplessis, like you even said at the end there, but I'm pretty sure I saw you message somewhere else about that as well. But yes, I do like Duplessis there. Corey Yeeple in the chat saying, I never thought I would say this, Lock. You're not going to be happy, but I'm on Mike Jackson Saturday. Pete might be a little more well-rounded, but not 7-1. Hey, I am not happy about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. There's no way I'm betting minus 700 on Pete Rodriguez, and I completely understand taking the dog shot here on Mike Jackson. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I won't get to the betting window myself to do it, but like the only way to play that fight, if you want to bet the Pete Rodriguez side at all, is bet Pete Rodriguez round one. And now that it seems like they have all the odds available or all the props. Let me see what they actually put Pete Rodriguez. Rodriguez round one minus 190. See, I'd rather take that chalk than fucking play the minus 700 myself. But good luck on Jackson, my friend. I likely won't have any money on that fight. Problem Kid in the chat. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you stopping by as always. Akinzul higher in the chat saying, hey, Lock, I got Tyra inside the distance at plus 600. Wow, that's a great line. It was a stake on the betting site. I locked it in. Now it's plus 250. It's always nice to be able to get those spots, right? Especially if the bookie goes on and honors those mistakes. But good luck to you, my friend. I do think he wins this fight. I'll say that. Daniel saying, why am I so excited about Natalia Silva versus Bledja? Feels like both are future title contenders. Again, I gotta dust up on Natalia Silva again. I know she pulled off I think she beat Jasmine Jasudavicius in her UFC debut, right? As an underdog. And I'm trying to recall Bledja. Was Bledja with the was she the big favorite? I can't recall her either off the top of my head, but I don't know. I got to do the tape before I can say anything about them being future title contenders. But if you see something, Daniel, I know you're a sharp one. We shall see. Sansan's Boulevard in the chat saying, just typed up Happy Friday and then realized it's not Friday. Pain. Happy Thursday, y'all. Yes, it is. It is a Thursday. It does feel like a Friday. I'll say that as well. But no, it is Thursday. For my TV fanatics, She-Hulk out today. Again, people are going to shit on me for that, but it's not that bad of a show. It is really not that bad of a show. Not to mention, spoiler alert, Daredevil showing up in the last episode. That was pretty cool. And then the Lord of the Rings finale tomorrow, season 1 finale of their Rings of Power show. So I'm very much looking forward to that. They're calling it an epic finale. So it better be fucking epic. We will find out tomorrow. Daniel is saying Dobson is a good wrestler. I don't know if that's tongue in cheek or what, but we'll see what the tape says. Bob saying true Muradov used to be chalky as fuck. Exactly. How quickly we forget, right? Bahayo on the way up. Obviously, he's on a bit of a winning streak right now. Muradov just coming off a loss. People just want to do the what have you done for me lately thing and then automatically bet Kyle Bahayo. Do the tape, then come to your own conclusion. Elijah Dream in the chat. Appreciate that, my friend. Saying Henry Cejudo made a brief appearance on the new Redeem Team doc. I saw that. I watched that the other day as well, and I saw them quickly show something of him. I think it was the same year that the Redeem Team won, right? Bob Spikeman saying, I feel like Bahayo can control him for majority of the fight with this like back takes, man. Probably. Maybe. Again, I gotta run the tape. The weed and the poor memory makes it hard for me to talk on fights that I haven't really studied recently. Akin saying, also, do you think Cub wins by decision or a KO? I think he wins by KO, my friend. Bob saying, appreciate the breakdowns, man. You the man. Love you, Bob. Always love seeing you in here as well. Aiden Smo saying, just have a strange feeling that TJ gets the belt back. I have that strange feeling as well. We will see if my research gives us the same answer. William Hegmeister in the chat. Been a minute since I see my boy saying rough schedule lately. Finally made it live. I'm glad to see that, my friend. Daniel saying, hot take. This will be a turning point in Dillashaw's career where he will be washed and maybe retire. Interesting. It's always interesting to say something like that for somebody that's getting a title shot. But we'll see. He is up there in age, or getting up there in age, right? Isn't he like 37 now? 36. He'll be 37 in February. By the way, I love that. Let me just see this real quick, but I'm pretty sure. Never mind. I thought TJ Dillashaw's wife had a Wikipedia page because I Googled TJ Dillashaw here real quick. And then, like, on the side where it shows like his quick Wikipedia information, his wife actually has a clickable link, but it just goes to her own like Google search page. Hilarious. Sanson saying, don't watch TV too often. Should I watch House of the Dragon or the Lord of the Rings show? In your opinion, watch them both. Watch them both. If you can. If you were a Game of Thrones fan, I would highly recommend watching House of the Dragon. If you are more of a Lord of the Rings fan, watch the Lord of the Rings show. I think both are great. There are a couple slow episodes in both of those shows, just as there would be with any show, but the majority of episodes are pretty fucking fire. Lajon saying, I had to rewind and double check. I was like, what the fuck was that, Henry? It was. Yeah, it was the year that Henry won the gold and Redeem Team won gold as well. John in the chat. Long time no watch. Lot, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Always good to see you in here, brother. Love seeing your name pop up on the timelines as well. Ken saying, always appreciate your time and devotion to us with your predictions in general. Chat, much love, Locke. Much love to you as well, my friend. I'm here with you guys for another 30 minutes. I won't be doing a full hour this time around since I obviously started late, but I got a quick write-up to do before I hop right back on live with you guys for propping you up with Cody at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So I got another half hour with you guys. Aiden asking, who do you lean in the Cater versus Allen fight? I lean Cater. I truly lean Cater there. I think it's a solid spot for him to go out there and outwork a guy in Allen who more often than not is low volume, right? The guy just waits around a little bit too much, doesn't do too much, tries to use his strength a lot more than anything else. And, it works. He has a good winning streak going on, but I think Cater might be the guy to throw a wrench into his plans there. Danny saying, thoughts on Benil by KO. Gamrot have been dropped by Sarukian and Gurum. This is a fight that I'm leaning Gamrot myself. But I honestly, for the life of me, cannot remember the Sarukian fight that well. I remember the Gurum fight was very close. A lot of people thought that he should have won it personally. I thought the same. But I don't remember anything about the Sarukian fight. So I have to watch that back. Benil by KO is always live, considering how much of a wild man that guy is. But I think that Gamrot is just skilled enough all around that he should be able to stop this run that Benil is currently on. Corey Yipo saying, Beverly Hills Ninja by vicious knees in a clinch Dushko can't get out of. I'd be okay with seeing that. I would love to see Jordan Wright win, even if it's at the expense of my guy Dushko Todorovic. White House Troll in the chat. Good day, Locke. What's good? Nothing much, my brother. Appreciate you coming by as always. Always love seeing the regulars in here when they pop in and drop a comment as well. Lajon Dream saying, rumors of a soul card in Korea in February. Yes. I don't want to take the credit, but I feel like I was the one that brought attention to this because I'm following my guy Cody Donovan. You guys know he's on the Coach's Main Event Marathon, and one of his posts showed the next upcoming fight, his UFC fights for their UFC roster, and the first one was Neil Magny. Obviously, we know he's fighting Daniel Rodriguez soon. Razak Al Hassan is fighting in January, and then it said Devin Clark, February 4th, Korea. And I posted that. Like I put it up on Twitter, and minutes later, I'm getting everybody else starting to report the same thing. And then I, shout out to my guy Cole Shelton. I'm sure he did his digging, and then he found out that Devin Clark's opponent is going to be Da Un Young. But it was me. I swear it was me that first brought attention to it. I'm sure somebody would have eventually as well, but check the timelines, folks. I was the first one to put it up there. William Hagmeister saying UFC 280 should be a classic. I locked in Brady 7 weeks ago, minus 110 for my second biggest bet in my life. Aspinall plus 124 is still my biggest. I don't know why I'm starting to get nervous. Confidence was higher than it always seems like the closer it gets. The bet always feels queasy, right? Like I was queasy before the Raoni Barcelos fight the other week, right? But I knew that he was like, there's a reason he was my lock of the night play. You know what I mean? This weekend, got my lock of the night play. Am I going to be queasy once the fight starts? Yes. I think that just comes with it, right? Especially when you're making big bets, you got to be careful. And no matter how confident you are when you press submit or place bet, you'll still feel that nervousness, I'm sure, once the fight actually kicks off. Yeah, I'm very interested by seeing the how I feel about that fight after running the tape. Lajon Dream saying Gamrot Sarukian had a ton of crazy scrambles. I got to see it myself. I don't remember it. Williams saying, I took Gamrot plus 210. I love Gamrot. I sure thought he would get dog line because he didn't dominate Armin. Some would argue controversial. I think he meant minus 210. But yeah, again, Dariush has just been grinding these out. I mean, obviously he had that crazy win over Jakar Close. Was able to finish. I think, hold on, what was his run again? I think I'm getting I'm confused. Yeah, he had that split against Dariush. He controlled Tony Ferguson. Yeah, knocked out Holtzman, knocked out Jakar Close. Yeah, I don't know. Gamrot is likely going to be his toughest test during this run. Jared Curry in the chat. Appreciate the love, my friend. Aiden Samoa saying, I have a weird theory that the UFC does Ngannou versus Jones in Toronto around April, May. Timing would make sense and only right to come back to Canada with a bang. Bro, I would be surprised if they do it in Toronto in April, but I'd be down. I would be totally down. But I honestly think, given the gravity of that fight, given how big of a fight that would be, they reserve those types of fights for Vegas. I think they would do it in Vegas. Maybe that Memorial Day weekend card that they used to always stack, or even International Fight Week. I mean, Jones and Ngannou. Also, when Ariel tweeted about the Glover and Yuri fight being set for December, they didn't really say whether it's the main event or not. Is there another big fight announced for that card that I don't know about? Yeah, that card actually looks not that bad. Robbie Lawler versus Ponzinibbio, Shabazian versus Lungiambula, Quarantillo versus Alexander Hernandez, TJ Brown versus Eric Silva, Duplessis against Hill, Rosenstrike versus Dawkins, Curtis versus Buckley, Daniel Lacerda versus Vinicius Salvador, Bo Nickel against Jamie Pickett, Cameron Simon versus Roddy Lawrence, excuse me, Blahovic versus Ankalaev, St. Preux versus Gustafson. I think they're trying to line up another big fight for that card because I think that's what Ariel was teasing at. Danny's saying, thanks for breaking the most anticipated fight of 2023, Da Un Young versus Clark. You know what it is. Problem Kid saying, Cub Swanson as a dog is wild. I see why. The momentum seems to be on the Martinez side, being the younger guy as well, right? But hey, I'll take it. Oh, Williams saying plus 210 Gamrot versus Armin. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Minus 188 versus Betty. Sharp play on Gamrot there. Problem Kid saying, glad to make it for a live again. Been super busy lately. Hoping everyone has been cashing and living well. You know what it is, my friend. We kill it. Aiden saying, Bilal going to come through a dog money again. Could happen. There's always the live dog. Williams saying Bones will be back December 10th. Update coming soon. The UFC waiting for Francis' decision. He's ramping it up lately. Interesting. Maybe that's what they're trying to tease for that card for 282. Danny saying Patty for Ignacio jokes. Don't kill me. Noel Murphy in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by here, brother. You said in sup lock, Magomed was to 5 and Aljo double is minus 110, which I love, though Aljo is max bet already at minus 160. Have a bunch of parlays from past weeks waiting on Aljo too. Ooh. Be careful, my friend. Be careful. I think TJ could come away with that one. Pre-tape, I haven't done the studying on it yet. I am leaning with the TJ Dillashaw side. Lajon Dream saying, Ariel said on MMA Hour they were making one last-ditch effort for Jones and Ngannou, I believe. Interesting. There you go. Lajon Dream saying, Bilal by decision. Well, if he wins, it'll likely be by decision. William saying, I've already booked my room for December 10th. Will be a must-see once they announce a couple more main card bouts. There's so many fights already on it, though. Right? Like, where's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 fights. Wow. From the time that I originally talked about the like minutes ago where I just said every single matchup on 22, somebody updated it with Prohaska Glover. One of you guys in here just update Wikipedia? Is that what's going on? But yeah, they already have pretty much every single fight listed. Like I think at most they will just add another title fight, maybe the Jones and Ngannou fight. Outside of that, I don't know if they'll add anything else. William saying also I ran into Stipe at the Columbus card, and wow, he got big preparing for this fight with Francis. For this fight, if Francis can go, Stipe versus Jones, that would be a great fight. I'd love to see that fight. Marcus asking, saying, out of all the dogs on the 280 main card, which dog do you think has the best chance to pull off the win? Let's see what the main card looks like. You guys always know that I love me some Chukagian. I always feel like she's live whenever she's a dog. So there's one right there. She's plus 155 right now. Just off the top of my head, I'd say Chukagian and Dillashaw. Those would be my pre-tape favorite main card underdogs for UFC 280. William saying Dillashaw and you. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. Daniel saying Aljo, aka Bantamweight John Jones, will beat Dillashaw. Wow, Bantamweight John Jones. Let's slow our roll with that one, my friend. Aiden saying, seems like UFC would want TJ to win. Aljo just isn't a draw, and love him or hate him, TJ's a draw and a damn good fighter. I think both, maybe TJ's a little bit more well-known, but I don't think it's significant to the point that the UFC would prefer for TJ to win. Booty Bandit in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my brother. TikTok us up, Kush. Daniel saying, even though TJ is a better fight for O'Malley when he beats Yan. Look at this guy. Already predicting that O'Malley win over Yan. Bananas and Grapes saying Hasbro knocks out Ngannou in under a minute. I think you're giving Ngannou too much credit there. I'd say half a minute. I guess that is under a minute still. Mario Burrell in the chat. O'Malley the dog play. I know you've been barking that O'Malley thing since the matchup got announced, my friend. Good luck. Pete G in the chat saying, sweet, I got it in Chuk at plus 187. That's a damn good line. Booty saying TJ and Charles are the best underdogs. So no. Islam his way to a win. Pete G saying, hi and bye, fellas. Like drop. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate you coming in and swinging through. My guy, Amin in the chat. Sense Boulevard saying, think Volk will have legitimate chance of 155 belt if he gets the fight. Of course, the dude is one of the best pound for pound fighters, easily. I would love to see him fight either Charles or Islam. I would love it. Absolutely love it. But yes, he has a legitimate chance. If he's an underdog of any sort, I would likely take a shot on him. Lajon saying, seeing compilations of O'Malley's legs getting kicked on Twitter now. People love that. Booty Bandit saying, I think Charles and TJ are solid underdogs. He's thinking, well, I guess no matter what in the Charles fight is and new. Because Charles is no longer the champion, if everybody remembers that. But yeah, Islam can Islam. William saying, let's not forget TJ beat Sadman with torn up knees mid-fight. Imagine how he ground and pound Sadman with good knees. His takedown defense a lot better than Powder was versus Aljo. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think he can stay away from those type of like those spots that Jan wasn't able to get out of with Aljo. Like I think he's probably the better wrestler, like on paper maybe, but in terms of scrambling and getting out of those positions, he might do a better job of Piotr. Booty saying you're picking Islam. Not an official prediction as of yet, but pre-tape, I definitely lean Islam. Daniel saying, anyone else think Islam can sub Charles? People are discarding Islam's Sambo Jiu-Jitsu. I think it's on the table, especially if he wears on Charles and like tires him out and then possibly gets him later in the fight. What's Islam by sub? Makhachev by sub is plus 225. You know, his KO line is wider than his sub line, which is wild, sorry. Like odds are indicating that Makhachev subbing Charles is more live. Sorry, let me say this again. Odds suggests Makhachev submitting Oliveira. Sorry, goddamn. I don't know what my brain is going on right now. I promise I haven't burned. Odds are suggesting that Makhachev submitting Charles Oliveira is more live than Oliveira submitting Makhachev. Plus 225 for Makhachev, plus 290 for Oliveira. Very interesting. I wonder what the line would be on fight ends in submission. That'd be tasty. Aiden's saying, what do we think of Volk future minus 125 on DK to be the featherweight champ on December 2023? I don't think anybody beats him, man. That's not a bad line. Interested to see what the limit is on that. Booty's saying the champion has a name and it's Charles Oliveira, my friend. Yes. As of right now. Daddy's saying Aiden will catch unless Cejudo fight happens. You think Cejudo beats Volkanovski? I'd be surprised. William saying, in all seriousness, outside of the plus 300 or higher line on O'Malley, I don't see a path to victory. Volume not there for either, but Jan has granted chin and great striking defense. Volume path to victory for O'Malley is definitely there. And I understand why people are taking a plus 300 shot on him. Outside of that, I'm good. Bananas and Grapes saying, are you related to Ronnie 2K? No, I am not. Is he brown? I think he's Indian, right? I could be off on that. Jewish Better is saying that Kevin Lee fight is a good fight to watch, in my opinion, to show what Islam could potentially do. Yes. Daniel saying, I agree, Jewish. Yes. Go back and watch that. You know, I mean, we all know Kevin Lee has a horrible gas tank, but he was able to do solid work against Charles Oliveira once he got him to the ground. Now you got Makhachev, who likely has a way better gas tank than Kevin Lee and could establish that top position way better. Charles, let's be honest, like, yes, he's been performing very well, but we could absolutely nitpick his way over the last couple fights, right? Like starting with the Kevin Lee fight. That was literally the last event before COVID hit. That's when they, didn't allow any fans into that Brazilian arena that we're at. He got laid on for about 2 rounds, and then Kevin Lee gassed out, and Charles Oliveira was able to choke him out. Tony Ferguson, we know Charles obviously had the better jiu-jitsu there, was able to control him. Good. Michael Chandler almost finished Charles Oliveira in that first round, but then Charles caught him with a good punch, dropped him, finished him. Michael Chandler, again, fighting the highest level of talent, but I don't really know if he deserves to really be at the top there. Dustin Poirier, we know he chokes in big spots, and he got choked out there. Justin Gaethje, solid fighter, but Charles is way better of an all-around fighter than Justin, especially when the fight hits the mat. Now he is fighting somebody in Islam Makhachev who can compete with him on the ground. He may not be the better striker, but I don't think it's going to take long for Islam to drag this fight to the ground and have success from on top. So, again, you could probably do the same thing with Islam, going through his record and just shitting on his level of competition, right? Best fighter he's probably fought in this recent run is Arman Sarukian back in April of 2019. So I get it. But from a pure skill set standpoint, I think Islam presents a lot of trouble for him. Lajon saying Ronnie is Indian. He's actually getting married and his celebration is this week. Wow. Good for him. Wonder what O'Malley Yan split decision prop will be. Might take Dejan Sprinkle on that. Might not be a bad way of going into it. Noel saying Victor Henry inside the distance. Plus 163 is my only play this week. Light weekend and prep for a 280. Good shit, man. I don't know if he'll win inside the distance, but Sun Tzu's durability is definitely falling off massively. So could definitely be on the table there. Booty Band is saying, but you don't think Charles keeps on the feet? Islam is one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. It doesn't matter if Charles wants to keep this on the feet. He will get him down. Makhachev will get him down if he wants him on the ground. Aiden saying, I'm not too big into boxing betting, but Jake Paul minus 110 seems like a steal. His team's smart and knows what they're doing, getting him in there with an aged Silva. I don't know, man. I might have to take a shot on Silva there myself. Like, Silva still has it, at least in a boxing realm, it seems. Might be able to dance circles around here on Jake Paul. Nathan in the chat saying UFC should do Jack Della Maddalena versus Jake Matthews in Australia. That'd be a great fight. I'd love to see how they line up Jake Matthews next. Like, Shrug Matthews is a new mystical creature. I can't wait to see what he does with all this disrespect he's been feeling over his last couple fights. Walkus in the chat. Appreciate the love, my friend. Mapri, what do you think of Breedo? I think you're saying Henry and Makai parlay. I think they all win. My friend. Nathan saying if Gamrot beats Benio, you think he's next for the title? Let's see. I'm trying to remember what the top of that division looks like right now. So right now, Gamrot is 9th and Benil is number 6. It's weird because the top 5 of the lightweight division is just guys that are just lingering there essentially, right? Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler, like I think that era of fighter is slowly being sifted out. That's when we're going to start to see how the fuck is Conor McGregor number 12? What is going on in this world? Like, should he not be disqualified from even being able to be ranked? Actually, I lied. He fought last July, right? Yeah, July 2021. I think you have to have longer than that. But even then, the last lightweight win that he had was 6 years ago. Why is he still ranked? Why is he number 12? So dumb. Like, Jalen Turner is number 13. Like, what the fuck? But like, I think like what I'm talking about, this new age of lightweights, like the Sarukians, the Ismagulovs, the Jalen Turners, the Mateusz Gamrots, Rafael Fizievs. Like, I think those guys are slowly going to start to take these higher ranked guys out and start replacing them in the top 5. But in regards to your question, if Gamrot beats Dariush to get a title shot, I think he would have to face maybe the winner of Poirier and Chandler. Just based on rankings alone, he'd probably have to face the winner of Poirier, Chandler, and that would determine the next number 1 contender. Which, again, Chandler or Poirier, even with the win, probably don't deserve it. But yeah. Good question. Williams saying, Williams saying, what's the Greek going to say? You have to bet Islam because we have never seen a line this low for him. Maybe that's what he's going to say. White House Show is saying you plus Cody, perfect. Mind sharing how you two got to do this? Have you? Well, me and Cody have been boys since Almost 10 years now. I'd say maybe 9 or 10 years. He was a matchmaker for a regional show that I worked up here in Toronto, and the owner of that promotion, his office was out of the Fight Network office, which is where Cody works. And we linked up there. We've been boys since. And then I saw that he was doing his show, Dogger Pass, or Bookie Beatdown is what it used to be called. And then we both saw that we were in the space together and just started working together. We started working at odds.com together. We created the Propping You Up show. And then after odds.com closed, we kept doing the show on my channel. And then the All Star picked it up to put onto their channel. So yeah, he lives like 20 minutes away from me as well. So we know each other quite well. Shout out to Cody. William saying, is Silva going to rig the fight though? Always sketchy betting celeb fights. That's kind of the weird worry that I have. But I'd be surprised if Anderson Silva would willingly sacrifice his legacy by intentionally losing to a guy like Jake Paul. Buddy Bannon saying this early, but who you think wins, Yuri or Glover? Man, that was talk about a back and forth fight, right? I'll probably still lean Glover, but I probably won't bet that fight. Juice Better saying Volkanovski is also up there for a title shot. I don't mind that. That's a great suggestion as well. You know, he's almost dominated. Well, he's pretty much dominated the featherweight division now. Like, just looking at the rankings here for featherweight, guys that he can still potentially fight. Yair Rodriguez is coming off a loss, I believe. Josh Emmett, maybe. Does Emmett have a fight coming up? Because he could be a number one contender. I could see them making that fight. But then, like, the other guys still need a couple wins before they can be considered for a title shot, right? Like, the up-and-comers now in the featherweight division, Bryce Mitchell, Movsar Evloev, and Ilya Topuria. All those guys still need at least 2 more wins before they can be considered in the title picture. But yeah, I don't mind Volkanovski going up and wasting some time just so that the featherweights can get it back up. Aiden saying, is propping it up tonight, Lock? Yes, propping you up will be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So half an hour, just over half an hour, I'll be going live on the All-Star with Cody. So make sure you guys come through for that. Daniel saying, imagine Volk versus Charles in Brazil, then Volk versus Cejudo in Australia, GOAT status achieved. Man, he could go down as one of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest. Aiden Small saying, yeah, weird how McGregor is still a lightweight ranking, also hasn't been tested by USADA in a year. It's weird, eh? Very weird. Noel Murphy saying, yo, I think it's hilarious Dariush is even upset he's not the backup for the title. He's literally a massive underdog to Cameron. Yeah. Makes sense. I guess, like, just based on his seniority and the streak that he's on as well. But I'd rather give it to Volkanovski. Daniel saying, I agree, and Connor would look better unranked than 12th. Sure. William saying he said that on your stream once about Cyril Gahn. Who is that? I am not sure what this comment is in reference to. I apologize. Nathan saying Jan plus 200 versus Magomedov. I'm thinking, what about you? Is that what the odds are, or you're suggesting those are what the odds are? Let me see if they actually have them posted on Hank Alive. Minus 250 plus 210 Blahovic. I still lean Hank Alive, man. I think that guy is going to be very hard to beat. I don't care if this guy has Polish power, but Magomedov should still dust him up there. William saying, on top of my bucket list is to go to a card in Australia and or UK. Me too. Me too. Lit. In the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. William saying, Yanni the Greek. That's what you're talking about. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. He's a numbers guy. We should all know this by now, right? Booty Bandit saying, I saw MMA Guru video on USADA. They tested Yuri 36 times, Izzy 11, Usman 14, John 3, and TJ 9. Yeah, you can see all this information on their website. I think if you just like Google USADA testing UFC fighters or something, they should have like on their official website, and you can search up every single athlete on the UFC roster and see how many times they've been tested. Aiden Simone just saying, damn, just realized if Charles wins against Islam, him versus Volk would be number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound. That'd be nuts. Is Charles really number 2 pound for pound or number 1? And Charles is number 3. Izzy is number 2. So Just dispelling that a little bit. Nathan saying, I lean on Kalev. I was guessing the line. That's jokes. Yeah, I'm still on the Kalev side. I think he'd be worth the chalk, honestly, too. Hagmeister said, yeah, Sir Gone and Fancy because we've never seen the odds this low just as a joke. Yeah, I remember that. MPTV saying Brandon Davis picks Zabit apart for the first 2 minutes of the fight until Zabit took him down. Brandon is the live dog against Mutna. We shall see. Long time no see, MPTV. Hope all is well, my friend. Let's sing Connor trying to figure out how to get Cowboy out of retirement. Yes. And take that fight at lightweight. Lajon Dream saying everybody freaking out about Connor not being tested for a while, but he's probably on some crazy drugs trying to get his leg back to 100%. Still, there are other fighters that likely had to take that same approach, but are getting tested. That's why people are up in arms. Danny saying lean on a Hooker versus Claudio. I lean Hooker there. I think his ground game will be good enough to stay away. Excuse me, to stay away from leg locks, and then he should be able to touch him up on the feet. He is back to lightweight, though, right? I hope he's not coming back down to featherweight. Yeah, that's a lightweight fight. Yeah, I feel better with that. All right, a couple more comments here that I'm going to get out of here. Danny saying thoughts on Colby Covington retiring and becoming security for Kanye West. Yeah, I don't know if he's retired. Nathan saying Pereira KOs. Izzy, in my opinion, what are you saying with that fight? That entire card is fired, bro. I can't wait for that card. It's gonna be a sick card. I lean Pereira as well. But we'll see what the tape says once I get around to it. Aiden saying I was saying hypothetically if Charles beats Islam, he should be number 2 over Izzy. I agree with that. Actually, you're right. I'd love to see that fight. That would be a super fight. You know what I mean? Remember that era where they're just like, oh my God, this is a super fight. Well, this is also a super fight. And this is also a super fight. Then there's like, what is truly a super fight if we're going to keep calling these super fights? That would be a super fight. Even Islam versus Charles would be, Islam versus Volk would be a super fight. Booty saying testing Yuri 36 times in a year is retarded. Yeah, that's crazy. William saying as much as Connor helped bring notice to MMA, he's also hurting the purity of it. Crazy. He is still ranked. Yes. Bingo. All right. I'm going to call it here. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I will be back in a half an hour over on the All-Star for propping you up with Cody Saftik. We're going to be doing the we're going to be doing propping you up for this weekend's card. Make sure you guys come through for that. We'll be doing this full card top to bottom from a props perspective. All right. Catch you guys half an hour. Peace.